Little black book. You know what time it is. Time it is. Time it is.
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You know what time it is. Talking to you guys about Falyn and Jalyn part 2, and we're breaking down her comments about strong, independent woman. She said, I'm a strong, independent woman. And I was like, oh, okay, strong, independent woman. Okay, sis, I hear you. We know what that means. And whenever you hear someone say about strong, independent woman, what that entails is they have been unprotected. They have been left to fight for themselves and fend for themselves. They've had no one else to back them. And so thus, they've ended up becoming this strong, independent black woman. Now, what's really interesting is she said that with coupled with I'm a strong independent woman with needs. And I want to break that down for you guys a little bit today as well, because I think that's a very important conversation with her and Jalyn, because I do believe that as much as she is a strong, independent person, she wants somebody to protect her, right? And having broken up in a last relationship, or sorry, having been ejected from her last relationship because her man Simon went with another person called Portia, having ejected her from that particular position into another situation where she's now with Jalyn. She went from one safety to another. So as much as she's independent, she really is dependent in wanting to be cared, loved, and appreciated. And thus, she went from one relationship literally to another relationship not long after, right? Without taking a break, without really dealing with, her wounds, she entered into another relationship. And that tells me that this person hasn't fully understood what it takes to heal, what time it's needed to create space and to create a place of harmony for yourself and peace, because we need to get to a place where we're no longer being dependent now on the last person, and we need to settle down, be in our own skin, deal with ourselves, see life through our personal solo lens once more. We're now a mother of 3 kids. We need to look at it differently, right? But then we ended up in another relationship with another person called Jalyn, who was her assistant, become best friend. And it's like, why she went from being with someone like Simon, who was maybe probably more dominant dominant person within the relationship. I don't know him very well because I haven't watched the show. To someone like Jalyn now, where she is trying to be in control. And this is where they're having issues. I did this in part 1. But what's interesting is that the reason why he will play such a role potentially as being somebody who's going to be underneath her thumb or underneath her cosh, or she'll be able to control him, is because he also never had that protection in his younger days, right? So now you got 2 people who you see this inversion. You see, and it's less to do with even, the genders, but more to do with attachment styles and more to do with your fight flight responses. Now, with what Falyn has told us, we know that there was some abusive relationship in the past, or some abusive behavior that was done to her in the past. Thus, because of this, she learns how to fight back by control and manipulation and being strong and independent and choosing somebody who she can feel like she can control. And the other gentleman also too, who I believe has been unprotected in his youth, his response to fighting back is not necessarily to fight, but to choose a more, what we call, because it's fight, flight, freeze, befriend, flop. And so I think for him, in his response, it's more of a case of befriend almost, right? So it's to make nice with someone, and he's got more of a flight kind of response, right? And so you see him slinking away from the relationship, right? Rather than being outwardly assertive and letting her know, hey, I don't like what's going on. He's been quiet about it, but as he's been quiet about it, he's been allowing it to slink away. The relationship, he's been slinking away. He's been withdrawing slowly. Why? Because his fight method isn't as overt as Falyn, and so. They are two antithesis, almost in a sense, opposites, who are finding each other. And the reality is, if they both heal, they might think that this relationship is not good enough for them. In reality, if they both heal, they might realize this relationship isn't even good for them. They might do. Okay. And now what